29 male thought I found my wife. 25 female cheating on me with proof. After days, has the truth come out? Next step? Part 2. Update 5. So here is where I stand. I send this message to the guy after getting his number from the phone bill. Before you start reading this, know that I am not in any way attempting to threaten you. I am simply attempting to come to terms inside my marriage. With that said, I hope you have some time to sit here and read this carefully. It could have a very big impact on your immediate future. I am writing to you looking for honesty. I am sure you now know that I know partially what was going on. She was being very suspicious the other morning when a snap came through on her phone, while I was around before she left for her nail decorating party. She has never been like that, and it threw up a red flag. I have never thought to distrust her, and because of that, she very easily could have abused this vulnerable side of me. It was very random of me to log into her Snapchat, because honestly, I wasn't expecting to find anything, hoping to just give myself some peace of mind. However, when I logged in, I see you were her most recent snap. So I swipe it to see what was said and found I want you very, very badly. After that, she logged in because it kicked her out when I logged in. When I logged back in, you said that you were asking how it was and I miss you. Now just these two alone are fairly suspicious, but I do remember her telling me that we would get along because we have a similar sense of humor. So I gave you a shot and I am the one who responded to you asking what do you miss most? Scott, what you said next is a whole different ball game. About you? I miss your smile and conversation in person. We can laugh about anything. And the is amazing. Now at this point, I believe she realized something was going on, or you told her what was going on. Doesn't really matter. What does matter is that it led her to delete the snap message altogether, which in return somehow revived a snap that she sent you from the previous day. This is what it said. From her to you, I do feel like I can be completely honest with you whenever you ask me anything. Such a good thing we have. Great friendship and great, what else could you ask for? Here is how I see this, Scott. All I am looking for here is honesty. If you are honest with me, this stays between us and feel more than welcome to tell the mother of your kids whatever the hell you want, when you want. But I need to know the truth. However, if you want to sit here and deny the obvious, I will bring this to your wife as I would hope she would do for me if she found out. I have no problem speaking with your boss either about the situation. I know Amanda is lying to me just by how she reacted when I showed her the evidence. I showed her the message she sent to you first. She tried to say it meant to say great jokes which would make no sense in any way you try to spin it. But then it didn't matter because when I showed her everything you said, she was speechless. Keep in mind this was taking place on an app where everything is supposed to disappear after it is said. Let alone, no one else but you two were ever supposed to see it as well. This clearly has caught me off guard and I have been up all day and night the last 2 days thinking about what to do, and this was my best solution to figure out the truth first before taking the next step in my decision on how to handle my marriage. Hopefully, you can respect me coming straight to you to get these answers from you right now, because if not, I will proceed in my own manner. This was his response. You are not attempting to threaten me? Is that a serious comment? That entire text is a threat. I do very much respect that you want to be a straight shooter and get to the bottom of what mine and Amanda's relationship is. Trust me, I do very much respect that. How you are presenting the situation to me on the other hand I don't agree with, but that's beside the point. You are allowed to do and act however you want. You are human and every human acts differently in different situations. I have developed a very deep emotion connection with Amanda, and we became very close over the last several months. As you are aware, she is good at listening and giving honest advice. She helped me through a very rough part of my marriage. We bonded to where we pretty much could talk to each other about anything. Open and free, and I never felt that before. Very liberating. Called her my lesbian best friend. I said that to help remember we were both taken. It did make me smile a lot knowing she was like me in a lot of ways. She has a way to light up a moment, as I am sure you know. Truth be told, I always thought your wife was a very attractive woman, but wanted to keep our relationship on a superficial level to respect both marriages. And did for a few years. Then we became closer over the summer. Things became easier to talk about. Nothing was off limits. We were very open about a lot of topics, and the one that should have very much been off limits we thought was not. Not being my wife, I should have never felt it was okay to discuss. We did discuss a lot about random things mostly. Talked about favorite positions, ways, does size width matter? What things make a girl/guy feel good, and not proud to state it, just telling you the honest truth. It was very much an emotional high. I felt there was chemistry and tension. As wrong as it was, I will admit I enjoyed it. Was like the chase of the high. I have a semi-stagnant relationship at home, and that gives me no right to ever talk about topics we did. We did discuss that if we met at a different time in life, we could have seen us maybe giving a relationship a try. I honestly enjoyed the conversations very much. I distinctly remember Amanda telling me about a time you must have went to a Chinese restaurant and your mom puts in bed after the fortune cookies. Statement was, "You will get a promotion at work in bed." From that moment I made it an inside joke that the is great if you are getting a promotion at work. I knew it wasn't right. But let it continue for a good while now, which should have stopped before it started. Honesty, if the situation had ever presented, I'm not 100% positive what I would have done. I believe with all my heart we would have done the right thing and walked away. I had an inappropriate work relationship with your wife, but if you are asking if we slept together, the answer is no. Hope you respect my honesty. I know Amanda loves you, and if you love her, then I wish you the best. Truth. I never wanted to interfere with what you had. I always wanted and want her to be happy in her marriage. I take responsibility for what took place, and it should have never ever under any circumstances taken place. Sorry for the bad punctuation, but it was via text, and I don't feel like going through it all. It's still readable. I then said this. Thank you for your honesty. I sincerely appreciate it. Can you please explain the snaps then? No matter how you read them, they make it sound like you have already had it. Just doesn't add up. That's the part of this driving me crazy. His response. The is amazing part, that is because after the inside joke took off between the two of us, we did text about more like a what if. What if we were to have like that fortune cookie suggested? It would have to be amazing, wouldn't it, if I was so good you got a promotion? So from there our joke was the must have been mind-blowingly amazing for her to get that promotion. So in text or snaps we sometimes would randomly at the end say the was amazing, great, or whatever word to insert. Like the signing out of a conversation. Again, Tim, I know you don't really know me from a hole in the wall, but I am truly sorry and feel terrible beyond what you imagine. That what if part wasn't really serious in the moment, if that is explained at all correctly. Was hypothetical. But we said what if we did have my next text. Two more things. Not to hammer you. Again, I appreciate your honesty. First thing is, Amanda told me that you guys have been to the point in telling one another that you would have with one another if not married. Was that it? Or were there explicit details being discussed? And not in a joking manner. Like maybe her telling you what she wanted to do to you, etc. Or you to her. You see what I'm saying? I am trying to gauge how deep this really was. Physical or not. The emotional connection was already there. The physical part is just a bonus to that. An emotional affair is almost worse than getting drunk and having a one-night stand. I hope you understand that. Also, the I want you very badly snap, I am assuming, was legit? You two were to that point. Where was the next step? What would have happened if I didn't notice her the other morning? His response. There was a time, maybe two max, where nothing was explicit. Vague and open-ended. No details per se. The snap, I want you badly, to be completely honest, don't even remember snapping, but obviously it was sent. 100% out of character, and that was the first of its kind. I was drunk, not an excuse, it's a fact. I don't even remember my emotion when I wrote it, cause I don't remember writing it. So to be honest, don't think it would have led to a single thing. That was harmless. And FYI, Amanda never once wrote a snap ever to that effect to me. If it puts your mind more at ease, me, the last thing I wanted to ask was, If you knew Amanda loves me and never wanted to interfere with what we had and want her to be happy in her marriage, then why would you do what you did? His response: to be honest, thought it was harmless, but of course it is the furthest thing from it. Selfish, really. For the record, I never one time if Amanda asked or said something did I ever make it sound like you were coming off poorly. I don't remember a single conversation of any topic, so please don't ask, but I would tell her what a man's perspective was, and how that may help the two of you get to see eye to eye on whatever topic it was. Was a friend to her above all else. Doesn't mean anything I did was right, obviously, but I want you to know I wasn't trying to undercut your relationship in way. Again, I was selfish, and it was wrong. I then ended with this: okay. Thank you. Now tell your wife. She deserves to know. I then messaged my wife on Facebook and basically had a long conversation about the in-depths of all this, as if I believed everything he said, because honestly, the way he said everything and from what I did already know of this guy, it sounds legit as much as I don't want to believe it. We basically started our counseling, it felt like, by discussing all of our issues and why she did what she did in the first place, blah blah blah. It didn't end on a good note, and here I am now. Update 6. Well, guys and gals, you were all right. She cheated on me. I brought up the idea of a lie detector test, and even showed her when and where we can go to take it. She played it off for about 20 minutes while we continued to talk, and I kept asking her questions that didn't make sense with the conversation I had with her and with him last night. By talking to her right after the conversation with him, I was asking her the same questions I asked him, and getting completely different responses because they didn't have time to talk as I was sitting there. She finally broke down, and the words "promise me you won't take this to work" came out of her mouth, and I knew. My phone went off and I used that as an excuse and said, "Hold that thought." Clicked through my phone real quick, turning on the voice recorder, and got it all on tape. FML. I flipped clearly, only a bedroom door though, so I am happy that was all the damage I did. I broke a lamp too, but who gives a. I then made her get in the car with me and drove to his house an hour and 15 minutes away, and I told his wife. She tried to beat up my wife and trick me into unlocking the door, but I was videoing the whole thing and told her not to do it, but she tried to anyways. Obviously, I stopped it from happening. I sat there with her for a half hour making sure she knew the full truth, and how he was going to tell her, just as my soon-to-be ex-wife was telling me it was only emotional. He admitted to everything as he knew he couldn't lie. I showed her all the proof I showed everyone here, and she was just in utter shock, which is understanding. I recorded that whole tidbit too. I answered any questions she had, and when she just became silent for 10 minutes straight, I left her my number and told her to call me if she needed someone to talk to when I left. She said thank you for telling her, and I told her I felt it was the right thing to do, and would only hope she would have done the same for me, and she said of course she would have. My ex-wife on the way up there and on the way back was answering all my questions, completely honest at this point as to when and where and such, as I was curious, as it was happening right under my nose. Although as she was telling me these things, it did all make sense, and there were even times where I should have probably noticed, but didn't think twice, because I trusted her. Anyways, I am just so up in the head right now, and am about to head over to my mom's to probably bawl my eyes out and talk to her about using the lawyer she is currently using for her divorce to get the separation papers going. I feel bad for my wife in a way because she is going to lose her job, and well, you get what you pay for, I guess. I will keep you all updated on how this all goes, but as of right now, it's not good, sad face. Update 7. Well guys, here I am. I am in a different place than I was a couple days ago. I think I am in some sort of a withdraw phase. I have never been without my wife for more than a period of 3 days when she went away on business. I almost actually tried to go to the movies with her tonight. I know. Last night I went over to the house, and we had a really deep discussion for about 3 hours just about everything. Not the affair details, but more so the questions that made us realize what was wrong with us and why it led to that, and how to move forward if we want to. We knew it was going to take 3 steps minimum, and those are 1. To make sure this is even what we want. Did we want to try and make it work together? Are we willing to put forth 100% to trying to reconcile the marriage? After we answered yes to that. 2. Get rid of the guy. I said in order for this to even have a chance, he would have to be out of the picture. Now this was a tricky one and continues to be, because they work for the same company, obviously being coworkers. Well, today, she talked to him, and it really is up to her how it gets handled, but one of them has to go, and quite frankly I don't give a who it is. Has nothing to do with my side of working this out. I told her until that is done, we have nothing else to talk about. But 3. Was counseling and the actual trying of repairing and reconciling the marriage. So that is where I stand. I want nothing but to be with my wife, I love her, and there is a reason I married her. She tried to hug me last night when I was leaving and I broke down yet again, because I wasn't ready for her to touch me. Doesn't mean I don't want to be with her and around her. However, I just couldn't take that yet. I honestly have no clue how long it could be before I am ready for her to even just touch me, and make me feel like she means it. I even told myself if something like this ever happened I would have to refrain from killing the however, now that I am in the situation. I can't even believe I am acting like this. It really is like the saying goes, you never know how you will actually react until you are put into the situation. And I have a couple holes to patch up and a bedroom door to replace to give you an idea. If anyone has specific questions, feel free to ask, but I don't want to make the wall of text any longer than it actually needs to be, so I am trying to just give the big details and the updates. Thank you for all your continued support, as this is really helping me think of all the angles. People can say I am making the wrong decision, and that is fine. Maybe I am. But I will find out in my own time. I don't think just filing for a divorce right away is going to make my hurt go away any faster. I have the ability to file for adultery unless I sleep with her, and then I lose that case, and would have to go through a full 1-year separation in my state. That isn't going to happen anytime soon. As stated above, I can't even stand her touch right now. So I will know well before that would ever happen again whether or not this is going to work. I might know in a couple weeks. I might know even sooner if she comes to me saying sorry, but we are gonna have to continue working together. I doubt that is going to happen, but you get the idea. Which reminds me, she actually has already started working on updating her resume to look for another job. I am not sure why I failed to mention that. She is trying to see if he would leave, but if he won't, then she said she will leave, and would ask for me to just respect her while she finds a new job so she doesn't have to financially struggle. I agreed, as she claims to have set up the office, so they never have to see each other unless they wanted to, which please just let me believe that is the case, because I truly believe it is, as she is making it clear she will do anything right now to make up for what she did. Obviously she never should have did it, but she did, and now we are here at a crossroads.